The Roger the Wild Child Show is brought to you by our friends at Prism Design Company. Are you looking for a cool new logo for your business? Do you need some graphics for your new website or blog? Our friends at Prism Design are a premier graphics design company that can handle all your needs. You can find Prism Design Company on Facebook or contact them directly at 618-534-4291. All the great graphics on the Roger the Wild Child Show are brought to you by our friends at Prism Design Company. And now, the hottest new celebrity interview show in the universe. It's the Roger the Wild Child Show.
Let's get this party started! Ready, set, go!
On the air everywhere.
It's the Roger the Wild Child Show!
It's time for another exciting edition of the Roger the Wild Child Show with your host, Roger the Wild Child, along with musician, producer, and real estate investor Darren Sheff and former Playboy Playmate cover girl and centerfold Deborah Driggs.
Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Do this.
Starts right now.
It's the Roger the Wild Child Show!
Hello, everyone. It is Roger the Wild Child Show, and we are here on a fabulous Sunday night. And what's up? How you doing, Deb? Oh, you're on mute. There we go.
Yeah, this is what happens. You're constantly muting me.
There's a reason for this.
Yeah, let's mute Driggsy.
Yes,
I'm
of
doing
course.
great. Listen, I am less than 24 hours away from having a birthday.
Somebody is going to be 84 tomorrow. Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I know all my anti-aging secrets are working. And stay tuned. I might share them with you.
Nice. I got to work on those myself. So,
Yeah,
actually, you're going to be, what, 58?
58. Number
And
one, anti-aging is gallons of water, man.
58 and feeling great. Right?
Mhm.
Awesome.
I was watching a lot of different things about anti-aging, and I must say, for me, there are three things that have, really kept me going all these years, and that's water, really good sleep, and exercise. Everything else, you could buy all the products in the world, you can do all the Botox and all that, but if you don't have those three things consistently. Oh, and stay out of the sun. I know we got to get vitamin D,
The sun,
but
yes.
not on our face.
That's why when you
Not
go
on our
outside, you
face.
always wear a hat.
I do. I wear those big, ugly hats that cover everything. It's like, seriously, I
And
look
then you got
crazy,
probably
but I
these
don't
big
care.
sunglasses too, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
big sunglasses, big hat.
You look like Beetlejuice on vacation.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
me. How are you doing? We're headed into this holiday season.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's going Christmas shopping and pulling my hair out. Oh my gosh, what am I going to get these kids? And they give me these crazy Christmas wish lists. And I'm like, yep, that's exactly what they are. They're wish lists.
Yes.
So
I
yeah,
say we draw names and everybody has to create a gift.
there you go. So we got the
No.
holidays coming up. We got a great holiday show in 2 weeks. We have 15 celebs coming on board.
I
for the
know.
show.
I am so excited about this. I've actually got a couple texts from a few people that are going to be on the show. So, I mean, how exciting is this going to be?
It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait.
I just love that we have these really strong relationships, and now all these people want to come back and just celebrate the holidays with us. How cool is that?
It's awesome. I just sent them an invite and say, hey, we're doing this holiday show. I'd like to give you 10 minutes of airtime, bring you back on, do your thing, maybe sing a Christmas song. Do you want to come back to the show with us? And they're like, yes. And 75% of the guests, because the other ones are either on vacation or out of town because of the holidays, they wouldn't be able to. But the response that I got for this show, it was a crazy idea. And it's going to be great. So I'm so excited about this show on December 26th, 3-hour show of our past guests coming
3
back on.
hour show. That means I cannot be drinking this.
No, you're going to have a cooler right next to you, Deborah.
I'm going to be like, excuse me, I have to go to the ladies' room. Oh my gosh. No, it's going to be so fun. And you know what's really cool is like, this is a really good time because it's the season of giving.
Yes.
That I hope that some of our guests come on and talk about some of the charities that they give to, you know,
That would be great.
Especially
Yes.
during this season of giving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's hit
I
up
love my
the
hair's doing here.
I don't know. Let's go to the chat room. We've got Gina Capone here saying, "Let's go."
Oh, she must be related to John, our guest.
We'll
Hi,
find out, will we?
Gina. Oh, that's
Also,
exciting.
Michael Mahone, Mike the Can Man is here. Don Swartz. Good
Don
evening, Wild Child
Schwartz.
family. We got Cynthia Renee. Good Sunday evening.
Hi,
And,
Cynthia.
Teresa Saban says, "Happy birthday."
Thank you. We're the countdown's beginning. I mean, we're talking 6 hours, and I'm going to be an old lady.
And Dylan.
That's my daughter.
Dylan.
Dylan. You know what? This is
Dylan.
so cool because she's very good friends with John and Giovanna. So good for her to come and support. Yes, we love that. We all have this thing in common. We all attended the Joanne D.W. Brown acting studio, all of us. And so we all have that in common. So we'll talk about that when John and Giovanna come on. But yeah, Giovanna and Bailey and John, they were all in acting class together.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll have Bailey pop in. Bailey, you should pop in. Say hi.
Right?
Yeah.
She should. Send her the link and maybe she can come on camera with us.
Okay. I'm going to send it to her.
Yeah, go ahead and send her the
Dylan,
link.
I'm sending you the link.
In the meantime, while you're doing that, let's get our weatherman online.
Hey, but guess what?
What?
Only if he talks about the devastation that's going on in Kentucky. We need to mention that.
And oh my gosh, he left. And now he's here.
Darren! He made it.
And now he's frozen. He's
frozen. That's okay. We'll talk for you. You just sit there and look pretty.
Right?
We'll talk for you.
So it must have been the crazy weather that they got that's probably throwing his internet off right now. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
No, my internet's cranking right now. That's what's weird. Hi, you guys. Sorry about that.
Oh, there you are.
Let me see if
there you are.
Let's see if I have anything on my teeth left over from dinner.
So how was your Christmas party for your work?
It was great because what we did, we've never done this before. So we are taking right after Christmas, we're taking like a week off, and we've never done that. We never shut our store down. So it was great because we had our employees there and we kind of set them up. We're like, yeah, for the last 2 weeks, I've been going, I have a big surprise for you guys. And of course, they need the money, you know, so taking a week off for a lot of these guys isn't a great thing. So it was cool because we were like, hey, you know, we had a big surprise for you guys. We're taking this week off in a couple of months. All right, but we're paying you for the week off. And they flipped in. It was so funny. We're at Buca de Beppa. You ever been to that place?
Oh, yeah, of course.
No.
I grew up
and
with
so there's
that.
all these other
Buca de
people in there, and they
Beppa.
start clapping like everybody in there's like clapping and going crazy. And the people that aren't even part of our party, they were just all going nuts because they heard, wow, okay.
I think
So
if I'm
it
not
was cool.
mistaken,
It was
I
totally
think the guy
awesome.
that owns
They
the Hard
flipped out
Rock.
and made everybody happy. And I'm looking forward to taking, like a week off myself. So that's
guess
what
what? I
happened there.
think-
Nolensville Feed Mill. I told all those people in there, I said, hey, you're clapping, but I go, you need to come into the Nolensville Feed Mill in Nolensville, Tennessee.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Darren.
Darren, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I can, but you guys keep cutting.
Oh, Buca de Beppa, I think, is owned now by the guy who owns the Hard Rock Cafes. I'm almost positive. I think he bought all the Buca de Beppas. We're going to have to confirm that.
no
But
idea.
yeah, because I think he bought, or he may have just bought the one here in California. But yeah.
I think you're right, because you're somebody that always
Little-
has facts, and I noticed that about
Little
you.
piece of trivia. Yes, I like trivia.
Ah, yeah. You're a
I
fact
like a little
person.
trivia. Now, let me ask you this, Darren, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really good with maps. How close are you to Kentucky? Because Tennessee was mentioned on Twitter regarding this devastation that's going on with a tornado in Kentucky. How close are you to it?
I am just about an hour away from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and one of my employees, which is actually Keith Howland's daughters, but from Chicago, both of them were with me tonight, and one of them was up there, and she was just telling me the story that they were like a mile away from, in their dorms in Bowling Green, they're 1 mile away from, where I mean, it's like anything. We're used to California earthquakes. It's weird how like one side of the block can get rippled and the other side's standing there.
Right, yeah.
Tornadoes are the same way.
Yeah. It's really sad to see what's going on. I just I've been taking peeks on Twitter and wow, so sad. And I love, sorry, I'm going to get a little political, but I love how we're blaming Donald Trump for the tornado in Kentucky.
Oh, why?
Really?
How did that come about?
He just gets blamed for everything.
That's hysterical. What's the reason? I'd love to know. That sounds
hysterical. Right?
Because Kentucky doesn't believe in climate change. So, that's why they get a tornado.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it gets a little nutty.
Oh, man.
Just a tad.
You know what's so sad? I think most people want, nice environments and sustainable things and clean water. I do, and it's like, it's silly to try and pretend like this side doesn't and that side does. It's like, oh, please.
Hey, Don,
but I'll tell you what, man, if
Kentucky.
That's right, Don Schwartz. Yeah, he is from that area.
And he said his family is safe, so that's good to hear, Don. Yes.
Good. Well, we're thinking about you, and that's where the Kentucky Derby is.
That's right. Coming up here in a few months. So that should be happening. Well, let's talk about the weather in Kentucky, and let's get our master weatherman, Frankie.
Frankie, the weatherman. Frankie, the weatherman. Who? Frankie. Who? Frankie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie McDonald.
Oh, yeah. Coming to you straight from Sydney, Nova Scotia. Frankie's in the house.
I'm doing so far. It's been windy in Sydney, Nova Scotia. I found a non-windy spot because the winds are pretty moderate right now. It's a high wind in my area. After the storm that hit Montreal yesterday, knocked out power Montreal, West Island, home to the base guy show. It was really bad. It just hit Michael Mahone, a.k.a. Mike the K-Man's hometown. I'd like to introduce to a new guy, Michael Mahone, a.k.a. Mike the K-Man. He's a nice guy. He does Facebook ratings once a week, and I'm on his Facebook ratings. And Toronto had really strong winds yesterday, and there's a lot of rain heading. There's an Albert Clipper headed for Nova Scotia, Newfoundland on Tuesday. Storms go rapidly, just intensify off the coast of Newfoundland. Tornado flatten the area across Kentucky and all the way down to southern states. Amazon warehouse is totaled. In Vancouver, British Columbia's getting a lot of rain. Los Angeles getting a lot of rain on Tuesday. December 14, 2021.
So you said Amazon.
You know what, Frankie? The day after my birthday, so that's good.
Yeah, of course. And you said the Amazon building got destroyed?
Yeah.
Amazon building got destroyed somewhere in the States from the tornado. They had large hail and everything.
Yeah,
and these are back and places in Vancouver, British Columbia had a lot of rain. Los Angeles getting a lot of rain on Tuesday. North Island, New Zealand's getting a lot of rain early this week. It's going to bring thunderstorms with high winds, heavy rain in Auckland, Wellington, Gisborne, Hamilton, New Plymouth, and all these places. In New Hawke's Bay, Napier, New Zealand, all these places, Nelson, New Zealand, Gracemount, New Zealand, and all these places. It's going to bring lots of thunderstorms in southeastern Australia with large hail and heavier downpours and things like that. It's going to bring a lot of wind up in Norway, Finland, Sweden, a lot of snow in the mountains, a lot of rain in coastal areas in Norway. As of right now, England is getting windy. There's a really strong high pressure system later on in the week. And there's a lot of thunderstorms going on in Brazil, Venezuela, and all these places in Peru and Ecuador. There's so much thunderstorms going on right now. It's really dry northern Chile in the desert. and the place in South Africa is getting hotter now. Uganda, Congo, and all these places raining all the time as of right now. And I got news for you. I'm doing great in these days. I just sent you the two high-resolution photos of me. I got huge news for you. Professional photographer John Rashford's taking pictures of me on Tuesday, December 14, 2021 on Dominion Street Ball Field. The Dominion
That's
Street
awesome.
Soccer Field.
Oh, you're going to be a model.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a modeling career. Is that
Just
what
kind
you're
of do
telling me?
this. Make
Can you
this
pose
face.
for us? Yeah,
Is
give
that
us some
what you're
modeling
gonna-
poses.
Yeah, show me what you're
Professional
going to pose.
Show
photographer
us
John
what
Rashford
kind of.
is taking
show us-
pictures of me on Tuesday, December 14, 2021 at 2:30 p.m. Atlantic time. That's 11:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. John Rashford is a professional photographer in Sydney, Nova Scotia. That's in Cape Breton
Okay.
Regional Municipality.
Okay,
Well,
great.
guess
So,
what?
look,
We
I'm
have
going to do
something-
my best modeling pose first. I'm going to head this off, and then you're going to go next, Frankie. Ready?
And
Okay, your turn. Make it. Let's see your modeling pose, Frankie. Make it.
there's Charlotte Street in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Shine me. Oh, there's a modeling pose right there. All right.
I'm showing you guys Charlotte Street in Sydney, Nova Scotia as of right now.
And
Nice.
look at his face. Look at there's a modeling pose right there.
That's right.
Roger, let's see your modeling pose, please. Oh, he's got the guns going.
And
it's
I'd like to
more than-
introduce to Michael P. Mahone, a.k.a. Mike the K-Man. He does Facebook ratings once a week. He does every week.
Thank you. Thank you. Mike, how you doing? Thanks for
Right
checking
on,
on the
Mike.
show and watching us tonight.
Right on, Mike. Driggsy, what's your modeling pose look like?
Oh, hold on.
Let's see this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here
Oh,
we
boy.
go. Ready, dude. Oh boy. look
Ladies
at
and
that.
gentlemen,
Oh,
Driggsy.
wow.
Ooh,
Wow. Okay.
nice.
See that right there, Frankie? You've got to do that right there. Can you get your hands
But
up
the
there like
problem
she
is her
did?
clothes are on. So
I've got a
that's fine.
few. I've got a few poses. Oh,
Frankie. Hey,
I'm wearing sweats.
that's
Nice.
nice.
Don't be fooled.
Don't be
Hey,
fooled.
guess what, Frankie? You and I have something in common because I have a professional photo shoot on December 16th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Wow.
And what about the professional photographer John Rashford? He's from Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada. He's coming down to Dominion Street Soccer Field to take pictures of me at 2:30 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time on Tuesday, December 14th. That's
I love it.
10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Well, I'll be
Love
there.
it.
yes.
Well, you're gonna have so much fun, and I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Yes, me too.
Hey, Deborah, I'd like to introduce to another guy named Michael P. Mahone, a.k.a. Mike the K-Man. He does Facebook rankings once a week.
Okay, introduce
Right
me.
on.
I want to be introduced.
Of course.
Yes.
All right, Frankie, thank you for joining us. Wrap it up, buddy.
Best of luck to you. I'm Frank McDonald. You're listening to Roger the Wild Child Show.
Oh, there you go. From the Great White North, it's Frankie McDonald with the weather.
How he is so fun. I just love him.
Me too. I just don't know
I'm
why every
excited.
time.
He's so excited though. He's doing a professional photo shoot. I think that is just amazing.
It's
And
incredible.
I can't wait to see the pictures.
Me too.
Me too. Hey, jinx you. But you know what?
Jinx.
Hey, double
Jinx.
jinx. Hey,
Triple double. You're on probation.
Oh.
You know what I don't understand about me though is I don't know why I think that one of these times I'm going to get a word in edgewise and say something funny in between that guy's shit. I mean, it ain't going to ever happen. Hi, Mike.
Mike
Hi,
Wagner
Mike
from the Mike
Wagner.
Wagner Show. Thank you for
That's
watching. I
Mike
love it when
Wagner,
other
ladies and gentlemen. Let's say hi to Mike Wagner.
Hey, Mike, woohoo!
Mike Wagner. Here he is again, everybody.
I like how the other podcasters come and watch our show, and I love checking out the other podcasters.
Well, look
show.
at Mike Wagner. I mean, come on, look at this guy. How cool this dude looks.
You guys, I have to tell you, I am booked through March on podcasts.
That's amazing.
Right on.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's like, boom, I'm getting booked left and right. So I got a busy January, February, March. I got a busy schedule.
Right.
Happy holidays. Shoe Shine Boxing. Happy holidays.
That's Dave from the 408. So
all right.
Thanks for checking in, Dave.
408. What's 408?
Dave from 408, he hosts the Shoe Shine Boxing Show. That's another great podcast. Like I said, all these podcasters want to check out our show, and they got amazing shows.
I want to figure out how to get all the rankings like us. I mean, can't blame them. I mean,
right?
Shit.
Well, they just want to get on the 75 best podcast list.
I think Mike is on it, actually. To be honest with you. Yeah, I think he is on that list.
Well, we're moving up. What spot are we in right now? 54?
The fact that we're on it is incredible, really.
I know, but we're moving up.
Because isn't Joe Rogan like #1 or something like that, or Candace Owens or something?
That's until next year when we move into the #1 slot. So.
I'm just saying we're in the same lineup as some of these big guys, right?
Yes, we are.
I mean, it's not like, well, you're on there with, somebody you never heard of. I mean, good Lord, we're on there with like some pretty incredible people.
Deborah, is Dylan going to join us?
Dylan, are you going to join? I sent her the link.
Okay, perfect. So we have some great guests today, and they're not only are they great, they're I love them. I'm really excited about the new movie Neon Bleed coming out. And in fact, Deborah, you're in that movie.
How lucky am I?
What?
Yes.
And you know what's so cool about that is, they were just like, hey, do you want to do this part? And I thought, how lucky am I that there's still interest for this old lady. So yeah, I was super excited to do it.
You rock that big screen, Deborah.
I try hard, And so, yeah, I'm super excited. I think these two are extremely talented. I am super fortunate that I got to work with them. And I didn't know what I was getting into, really. When they asked me to do the part, I had no idea what I was getting into and what it was going to be like. And I can just tell you from the minute I showed up to the set, just how professional. And John happens to be a very, very good director. So he's got a very nice career ahead of him. And Giovanna, I got to see just a little bit of her acting, and she is also somebody with a career ahead. So this is exciting because I like to get people before they've hit stardom so that we can go, well, we had them on, when
right.
And that's what's going to be super cool about the show.
You need to let me know when the red carpet event is, because
absolutely.
I want to come. I want to come to this red carpet event.
Absolutely.
I got to support you, Deb.
Yeah, I would love that, and I would love just to support them. So
absolutely,
without further ado, I really want to dive into their careers. So there they are.
I just showed up.
Hi guys.
Wow.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Oh, Jax is here too.
John and Giovanna.
And Jax.
Jax. Can't forget Jax.
Jax refuses to not be on screen. So
does he have a little Christmas sweater on or something?
This is actually just his red one. He has a more Christmassy sweater than this one. So.
Let's see. Hold him up just a little bit more to see that sweater.
Yeah.
That's a little coat.
Yeah, he's very.
It's a little hoodie. He's got a hood.
Yeah.
Before we get started, do you guys have a really cool craft services thing? That's what I'm interested in is
craft services.
Yeah,
I can attest that crafty and food is one of the bigger budget items on the top line budget.
Right? The Welch's little 10%. Those little Welch's packet with the little gummies in them. Those I love.
Oh, those are so good.
A happy, hardworking crew is a well-fed crew. So that's
it.
That's where it happens.
Make them go to sleep. You're doing the sleeping scene soon. We're going to be getting a bunch of carbs. You ready? You're doing a great job. Well, I'm really tired here. I'm not even acting. Anyway,
you got that little picture in the background there. Is that the sign of your production company?
Yeah, it's our production company, our production banner, La Familia Pictures. So if you can't tell by the names, we're of Italian descent, and La Familia means the family, and that's how we view. Yeah, that's how we view every production we want to do. We want to establish that trust with collaborators. So that was the thinking behind the name. Yeah.
Perfetto, grazie mille, grazie.
That's right, mille grazie. Yeah.
When we animate it, we're gonna take John's grandma and just with a little hand talking like this, you know. It's gonna be like this.
So, John, let me ask you this: what got you started into being a film producer, writer, director, and all that jazz?
I mean, you know, when I was young, I think I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I was in the backyard making home movies, like everyone else that I think gets started in loving movies. The big benefit for me is I grew up around a lot of my cousins, and we were all around kind of the same age, so it was really easy for me. And actually, we lived next to each other as well, like right down the street.
They all live on one street.
Yeah. So I actually, before La Familia, I had my first production company when I was like 5 years old, 6 years old, called Kids Studios. So
really?
That was the beginning of it for me, way before film school and developing the whole career. But yeah, so it was, you know,
when I was a kid, when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, I was like, I was creating like cash registers in my room, and it had all these items and stuff, and people would go to the store, and then you become a business person. And that's what I grew up in being. So like, I'm like doing business stuff now. And, you know, so if you set your dreams up front, you're going to be successful. That's, you know, if you know what you want in the beginning and you work hard to it, that is what you're going to end up being.
Well, and I think too, also, you know, nowadays, you know, how tough an industry and a career can be. It has its ups and downs, as I'm sure you guys can attest to. And it's like going back to that young, you know, state of mind, that memory of like when you were doing it, when there was, you know, no money in it, the passion of it that started, that ignited your interest in that field. I think it's like it's crucial to have access to that, you know, even later in life. So
your sister Gina on Facebook is watching, and she said that you film movies of them every day, literally.
Yeah. They didn't have much of a choice. I was out there with a camera, and I was grabbing them by the shirt collar. What's up, Gina? Thanks for tuning in.
But you were nice to them, right?
Right,
oh, absolutely.
Because I've got Gina here as a witness. She's going to tell me the truth.
Oh yeah. Oh, she will, absolutely. She'll comment it right on the live stream.
Yeah, Gina's not shy.
Yeah. So when you were really young, you know, starting out, like being inspired and stuff, like when you were probably like 4 or 5 years old, were you like recreating like Scarface in your backyard at 4 or 5 years old, like doing really crazy stuff like that and blow and like killing people and stuff like that at 4 and 5? I'm just imagining that at that
Scarface
age.
I
am just kidding.
But Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman. In 1989.
There you
that
go.
makes more sense. Batman. I'm just kidding, everybody. Don't get all excited.
That is so funny that you mentioned Michael Keaton, because I was watching this documentary today, and he is probably the one actor that has been really overlooked in the industry. There are so many films that he's done where he really should have been nominated and or won the Academy Award for his work on Birdman. I mean, my God, it was just so phenomenal. And I was thinking, you know, he really is one of those actors that's so underrated and like, you know, has been overlooked. But anyway, back to you guys. So a lot of people don't know this. I kind of know this, and you can tell us the story. You left Buffalo and came to Los Angeles. When you came to Los Angeles, were there any opportunities, or did you pack up your car? Do you have that story where you packed up your car and you lived in your car and you came to LA with a dream?
I think Giovanna has more of that story than I do. So I'll let her set it up here.
Yes, well, while John was with his family making home movies, I lived about a mile from my family, which I thought was close until I met John. And then I was like, oh no, they're next door neighbors. So we had a lot of space in my family, a mile apart. But we were all dancers. So all of my female cousins we danced at the same dance studio, competition dance. And I went to have like a full-on professional dance career. So I did some touring, I was at a show, and then eventually I came out to LA because someone suggested I go to Baron Brown. And so that's when I finally moved. And I did. I just packed up and went.
And with what in your pocket, like what, I mean, that is such a scary, like when I think about it, see, I grew up in LA and my career started before I ended up at Baron Brown. So my career had already started. I had already been modeling. I had already had a little success. And then, but I read stories about people that literally risk everything and they drive. Hilary Swank, Demi Moore, some of these famous actors that I read their biographies, and they literally lived right out of their car to pursue this dream of being, you know, and I just always wonder, like, what that's a huge drive.
Yeah, I think it's for me, because I did it in increments, right? So I started in Buffalo. I went to Ohio State, go Buckeyes, which is pretty much still East Coast, like Midwest, East Coast. I didn't get very far, right? I went for dance. Then I went to Las Vegas. So I was going back and forth between LA and Las Vegas, but that's a huge move even from the Midwest.
What did you do in Vegas? Because I'm from Vegas.
Oh, you were? So I was in a Michael Jackson show at the Stratosphere. Well, it was at the Rio, and then it moved to Stratosphere.
Michael Jackson Live.
Yes, I was in that show.
Yes, I remember that. I remember this.
Oh, Bales.
Yeah, yep.
And Dylan Bailey is commenting. Dylan is watching the show, just so you know.
That's Deborah's daughter.
Yes,
for everybody out there.
They know. They know her.
I'm
talking about the audience. The audience.
Oh yeah. I
have a funny story about Bales too, because we. So when I finally left Vegas, because I was never meant to stay there. I never wanted to be there. I wanted to be in LA, but I would just get gigs there. So I stayed, and you know, it's much less expensive to live, and it feels like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm living the dream. And then I wanted more. So it's like what you were saying, Deb, about that risk of just like putting everything in your car and going. I think the risk of like not doing that and just always wondering what if was worse than jumping in the car. So I was like, whatever. So I've done it a couple times, and then it becomes a thrill, like, because I'm an adrenaline person. So now I like it too much. And so Dylan here was like, we had, you know, so once I met her in acting, I won't tell that part of that story.
The cake story.
I knew there was something to do.
No, you have to
Dylan
tell
needs
it.
to get on here.
No, you have to tell it.
Is Dylan going to come on, Deborah?
She has to come
that
on.
means
get her on here.
Means don't you dare tell it. That means
link.
tell it.
She's like,
Well,
so when I finally became, you know, I went to the Baron Brown Studios, and I became friends with Bales almost right away. And eventually she's like, we got to go get your crap from Vegas. Like, it was in a storage container. Like when I first moved from the East Coast, I had just a car full, but then I lived in Vegas for a few years. I accumulated stuff. So when I went to leave, I just threw it all in a storage locker. And so she was like, we have to go get your stuff. We have to go back. And that debaucherous trip is the one she's referencing right now.
I feel like there's more to it that's not
Yeah.
long-winded. But
We're gonna get Dylan to come on and tell the story.
Yeah, I think Bailey should tell it. We need the first-hand account from
Yeah.
Bailey.
Yeah.
It was a very
Dylan
stressful
Bailey.
trip, but very amusing. at
So
the same
here's a little trivia for you guys. So when I did Baron Brown, I did it in 89, 90, 91. And I met my husband in acting class.
I like that.
And we were married for 14 years and had 3 children. And obviously we're divorced and it didn't work out. These two met in acting class. So when Giovanna told me she was dating somebody, I said, oh God, be careful.
Behold. Yes, and Bailey
Not
had
a 5-star review from my experience.
Well, Bailey had a funny moment where DW, our teacher and co-owner of the studio, was talking about how he put together, or was it Joanna? I don't know, but he put together you and your husband. And Bailey goes, yes, I am here because of this studio. I am literally Meisner made.
Yes,
I'm from
she
this.
is. It's so true. Yep.
Yeah, but it was crazy because I'm from Rochester, which is an hour east of Buffalo, where she's from, and we hadn't met until acting class. I was, you know, in the row in front of her, and you know, not even for the first like 6 or 7 weeks of the class, I heard her say Buffalo one day, and I turned, I'm like, you're from Buffalo? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm from Rochester. how did we not put this together beforehand?
The
But
same level of aggression, like, should have tipped.
yeah, it's that personality, that East Coast, Western New Yorkers specifically.
Bills
Well, and
Yeah,
it's
that
funny
is.
because Mitch and I are both LA native. He grew up in Van Nuys.
Okay.
And I grew up, in the South Bay area. And so that's unusual too, to meet somebody that you're both natives of California. And so that was actually unusual as well.
Well, and the reason I didn't really talk to John for like those few weeks, he was sitting in front because Bailey and I were sitting in the back row where the cool kids were.
Yeah, you guys
were
were
like,
Of course.
Well, I don't know about cool kids. You guys were
Like
cracking
back of the
jokes.
bus.
oh, we were
Class
literally.
clowns
I think
right here.
everyone
course.
was shocked by. They're like, who are these people? Because we just sit there like the peanut gallery, throwing out comments the whole time.
Yeah, and I was in the front row, like very focused, taking notes. And
No, we had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
see, you guys are lucky you didn't have Joanne. I had Joanne for first year.
oh man, yeah.
And I cried
My
every day.
condolences.
I cried every day. There was not a day that I didn't leave there just like, I can't do this.
know. I love when she
was-
makes you cry though.
Oh, she's tough.
But I'm
had
sure
her-
she
oh.
formed your tough skin for that is so
She did.
necessary, right, in the industry.
She really, I say this all the time, even in business or in any type of relationship, she really gave me groundwork for
Right.
not just acting, but just for a lot of different situations, for business, for everything. So yeah, I always have very high regards toward that
Right.
experience.
I love her. I mean, I remember the time that she made me cry specifically because I only did master classes with her once we were there, right? 'Cause she wasn't
Yeah.
teaching the years anymore.
Yeah,
And
our class was the last class
It
she
was the last
taught.
class.
Mm.
But she's incredible. She made me cry the one time, and then she's different now. So she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I made you cry." Like she apologized in front of everyone. I was like, "Why? That was the best I've ever acted. Like, make me cry every day. Bring it on." Like,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. I'm not.
Yeah.
My dance training has like opened me up to like sometimes you need the tough love. I like the tough love.
Oh,
so.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I grew
I-
up, I grew up ice skating, so I get
Same,
that tough
yeah.
love. There was no
So good.
trophies handed out for 4th, 5th, and 6th. It was tough love. So let's talk about Neon Bleed.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
I have there are no such thing as small roles, but I have a small part in this movie. And so I know the script, I know what the movie's about, but I'd love for you to tell our audience
Yep.
what inspired you to write the movie and why, and then what are the plans for it?
Yeah. So I pitch it as a backstage expose of the music industry. So like a Star is Born type of film where we're very much with these characters who are navigating the music industry, combined with a Coen brothers crime drama, like a slow burn, suspenseful crime drama. And it has a lot of themes about family. It follows a young pop star who at the beginning of the film is spiraling out of control on his way to burnout. And he's really out of touch with his artistic voice and not making the music that he wants to make. So it's all about, and that's actually the pop star there on the right. And his older brother there on the left, he comes into the film. I'm not going to explain how. You'll have to find out when you watch the movie. But they reconnect. It's his estranged brother. And he's sort of through conversations with his brother, figures out, he wants to make real music again, not just, sort of like contrived music industry, music by committee, right? And so his brother affords him this opportunity to write a song together and sort of reintroduce him to what he loves about being the incredible artist that he is. So I think to your question about what inspired me to write it, this was kind of around COVID and the pandemic or right before. I think I got the idea, and Justin Bieber had just released his documentary series on YouTube at the time, and no one had seen him for like almost 3 years. He was, I think in 2017, canceled his tour because he was, breaking down. He had a mental breakdown. And so his YouTube series, when he reemerged, he went through that, he spoke from the heart about what that experience was like. And how he was struggling with substances. And I think I was attracted to it because, you know, someone like Justin Bieber, I mean, if you go on Instagram, he has, I think, like 250 million followers. Like,
and you see a lot of that in the industry too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's someone who's, you know, literally the most influential personality, let's just say personality, like music, entertainment personality in the world. And we look to people like Justin Bieber, you know, to kind of shape and guide our culture. And I just immediately asked the question, you know, like, how does someone deal with the responsibility of that? Like, clearly on a conscious or unconscious level, it was taking a toll on him. And, you know, he was losing himself, you know, period. And there's Giovanna.
Hey, that's
she's
me.
got a role in this. She plays a very, very cool character in the piece that is sort of essential for the pop star kind of navigating the world and you know, reconnecting with his brother.
And shout out to our lead real quick, which was in the last two pictures. John Paul Kakis, very talented person.
Oh, yeah.
Easiest to work with. Like, I have never laughed so hard in my life, and I'm very happy that we got to know.
Talking about the guy with the curly bob.
Yes.
Yep.
He's
going to be like the next
He plays
Brad
my
Pitt.
son. I'm his mother.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
You're his
he's
mom.
his mother.
Yeah, and
And-
so getting around to Deb's role, so
Yes.
Deb plays the pop star's mother, who there's a lot of backstory for the character, but very important role, very important presence in the pop star's life, who we learn sort of in drips and drabs throughout the film, you know, being like a source of like what connects him to his voice and his artistic voice. So yeah, Deb, thank you so much for taking our call and being in our movie.
I know. I still remember the moment that because I think I texted her for something. Like, would you want to do this? And she's like, F yes. And I was like, that's my girl. She's always down.
I love it. Yeah, love that. Yes energy right there.
Yeah, it was like a really good feeling that you wanted to do it, and you look beautiful in it. And she's obviously like, there's no small roles, but I have a small role. But once you see the film, you realize like it is the role that the whole film, like John was saying, kind of spins around is her character.
Right.
So
Awesome.
Yeah,
very important.
It was a true honor. Let me tell you, you know, this is a business, and I started in this business as a very young girl. And I can just tell you that it is a business that now I completely do not take for granted anything. Like, it's just because, you know, to have those creative juices and be able to work is a gift.
Right.
And when I was young and I was booking things and I was just working, and I didn't have that maturity and that gratitude that I have today. And being on any type of set for me today is just all about gratitude. So
absolutely. And I think actually for me, and I know Giovanna can speak to this as well, is Baron Brown humbled you so quickly in terms of really going into the film industry, the entertainment industry for the right reasons. You know, there's no celebrity, there's no vanity, there's no hamminess about getting up in front of a class of 20 students and just repeating that essential Meisner work of the repetition of, I like your shirt, you like my shirt, I like your shirt. And you just quickly it brings you down to, oh yeah, this isn't about, you know, walking in the door and saying, you know, the zinger line, right? And like, oh, what a performance. No, it's about getting underneath, you know, the script, really getting into the subtext and conveying,
well, and even
whatever the writer.
Further than that, like, I mean, it was very instilled just that the glamour, I think, of it all can get very distracting to people. Like, oh, you know, let me post this picture, or let me, you know, they're picturing like the result and not the work being done. And so I think you really have to know that you like doing the work, because it's not glamorous. Like when Deb did show up to set, the place that she got to shoot was one of our like craziest locations. We were like in Topanga Canyon, no cell reception, like everything was dirt roads, and like we were in tents and there was porta potties. Like it's not a cute situation.
Yeah.
So like if you don't love doing that part of it, I think you're going to be disappointed.
It's not all lights and glamour producing these movies, and you know, and I'm sure you guys are definitely, I mean, just, you know, in the, you know, just movies in general, I mean, you're in crazy situations, and you're like trying to make a little set look like it's a big, like, you know,
Yeah, and there's so many moving parts too. Like in this film,
yeah.
it's a film about the music industry, a pop star. So, you know, our bigger set pieces were, you know, a live performance, and we had obviously like 40 crew, and then, you know, 15 to 20 extras all running around with equipment and lights and amps and instruments and just the controlled. I mean, at times it didn't seem controlled at all, the chaos of it.
Yeah.
You know, and then trying to like do the very structured thing of making a film where you've got your setups and you got to hit your shots, and, you know, people need to, you know, collaborate. And yeah, it was a huge, I mean, the production part of it was a huge experience. And, you know, this is an independent film that we started, you know, bootstraps, the whole thing. You know, we went out and raised private finance. So, I mean, we learned.
Where is it going to
much.
be seen at? Is it going to be streaming anywhere? Or, I mean, are you going to be doing any of the indie film conventions or conferences?
Yeah, so far we actually so the deadlines, you know, are rolling, so they're all year long.
Right.
So we've only applied to our first one, and we actually got in, which is the Idlewild Film Festival, which is very close to us out here in the desert. It is an international film festival, and we had gone a few years ago, and we loved going. It's because it's in this quaint little mountain town, and so we're like, how cool would it be if we got to go back and see our film? So first one applied to, got into that one. We're hoping for more. Like, we'd love to go. Overseas. We did a short film a few years back, and we actually went to Berlin because it was in that festival. But I believe that John has plans to do a little premiere too, like a friends and family.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, so we'll submit. So we've submitted to a couple film festivals. We've heard back from one, and I think February is when the next deadlines start to hit. So the film, and we're still in post, so they allow you to submit a work in progress cut.
Okay.
And then when you finish the film, you'll just, you know, send that cut along. So yeah, February is when the applications really start to open up. And yeah, I mean, for me, my timeline is if we could do the festival circuit through 2022, and then by fall of 2022 to have, you know, some sort of distribution or sales agent, you know, situation lined up. And I mean, there's a few different ways we can go about that, you know, based on our network of people. You know, it'd be great to make the biggest sale ever, right? And have it be done by Netflix or Amazon Prime, or, you know, so
exactly any of those top streaming services. Now, independent films are interesting too, because I want to say, and I've watched a couple of them. Sometimes they're better than the big screen films.
I agree. I agree 100%. I just watched a few movies. I've been trying to catch up. You know, it's the end of the year, so all these movies are coming out, and I have to tell you, the ones that I'm watching, like Netflix original, Hulu originals, Amazon originals, are so much better than the ones that are coming out mainstream. And anybody that knows me knows that I watch every movie that's in awards season. And I just watched 3 movies over the last couple days that are like, I know they're gonna, like, Card Counter and
I want to see that.
The Last Duel and something else. And okay, they're good. I'll tell you, the movie that blew me away was something about the dog with Cumberbatch.
My mom was just talking about
that. Power of the Dog.
The Power of the Dog. Oh my God. And that was a Netflix movie, and so good. Like, I thought, okay, this movie might actually take a lot of awards. It's so good.
It might. They ripped me off. I did something called The Power of the Tarantula. Those freaking people took my idea and ran with that son of a bitch.
Oh man, anyway, you have a better title too.
Yeah, exactly.
We can back you up with that. We had a very large spider in our house, being out in the desert, and I mean, it wasn't.
When you said the desert, what are you talking about? The desert? I mean,
we're out in Joshua Tree.
Oh, Joshua Tree.
Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree.
I wanted to say something really quick, because while you guys were throwing up those, I couldn't get a word in edgewise because Roger wanted to say he's seen 2 independent films now. So that was like really big news that he's watched 2. He said, I've seen a couple now. I'm like, all right.
Well, see, I never was into independent films.
I'm just kidding, you guys.
Don't blame Roger. You're tired because you've been drinking whiskey at a Christmas party all day. Come on, get to it.
It better be
Okay.
Angel's
Yeah.
Envy. I love some
I take
Angel's
some
Envy.
shrooms, man.
Speaking
Oh,
of
yeah,
I'm
that's
kidding.
what's going
I am
on.
just
You're
kidding.
very
I'm
quiet.
It's in
just
another
kidding.
dimension.
Yeah, wow. Hey, don't laugh, man, because the construction workers were laughing because my snail didn't have a driver's license. All right.
There you go.
Anyway, so, but one of the things that was really cool is while you guys were putting those stills up, what really like popped out to me was the lighting and the emotion and just even the stills. So I was looking at like the very first one, man, it was just kind of like dark and, just had like some of those sepia tones and stuff, man. It was really cool. I really, I was like looking at the characters, obviously I was looking at the guitars, but that ambience, man, and that background really like took me, man. I was like, wow, that's really cool. And the same with the other ones. I mean, they're really great. So I can only imagine, what the film's going to project. If you get that kind of vibe out of a still, man, it's like pretty powerful.
Well,
And
I can say we're happy to have like awesome collaborators and creatives on the team. The cinematographer is a friend of mine from film school, and he's been, I think we've been on a film school for like 5 years now, and he's been shooting everything from documentaries to music videos to commercials. And I mean, he's top notch for as young as he is. He's top notch.
He's actually unbelievable. I don't think there's a single person that's met him that hasn't been like, whoa. But I will say, John, John is also like a director that has a vision for lighting and he knows the camera well. Some directors don't, like they just do the actors, right? They work differently. But John and Andy Franzak is our DP's name. They've just like very well communicative and just like problem solvers. Like I was saying, like you have to like doing the work. Andy, for as much as was put on his plate, he was like, okay, here's how we'll solve this. Here's how we'll solve this. I will say he gave us the hottest park hand lights on those live performance days. I felt like I was in the sun. But other than that, I have no complaints about Andy.
Darren, you look like you play live music. Have you ever had experiences with those park hands? They're just so toasty.
They are so hot.
No, not necessarily. I'm more like just right in my studio. Whose dog is that? Is that mine or yours? Or I hear a dog barking.
Not my dog. It's your dog, I think.
I think my wife came home.
No, it's my background. I'm gonna mute for a second.
Okay.
This damn dog won't
No,
stop
you're cool.
barking.
You're cool. It doesn't bother me. I just wanted to make sure. It doesn't bother me. Just wanted to make sure.
Shut up out there. We're trying to do a podcast.
Everybody's trying to get all you. Everybody's trying to get all Italian. Hey,
That's
what
how
are
we
you
do it.
doing?
Hey, go back to the hand. Back to the hand.
Familia, we got a movie to make.
Hey, forget about it. You're barking too much.
Yeah,
Anyway, but yeah,
It got louder.
Hey.
we got louder, and then the dog got drowned out by us. But what the other thing though that I wanted to say that was really cool is like with Driggsy's part, it's like you're right. It's funny what every little piece just has something really incredible to add to something, whether it's little. I mean, because I'm a music guy, and I mean, if you listen to any of the classic songs, now I write, incredible songs. But what I was gonna say is that
we make incredible music.
I know you do, man.
And I run incredible shows.
That's right.
You do. Right.
Incredible.
And she takes off her clothes. It rhymes. You see that? So anyway,
Yeah, Deb's got us all beat for sure.
With her
she does incredible
body.
shows. She takes off her clothes. We're all good. No, I'm just kidding. Oh wow, here we go. Woo! Wow, watch
Boogie
out,
nights.
degenerates. Anyway, so, but what I was gonna say is that, like you take an old classic song like American Band. Oh yeah, look at she's like trying to upstage me here. Don't make me start doing this stuff. I got my farmer's tan. Look, it looks like I got like some weird farmer's.
All right, hang on, guys. Here we go.
Oh,
There we go.
boy.
Roger's
Oh,
in
my
the
God.
house.
We don't want to see your nipple rings. Anyway, so
Are you sure?
Jax
yeah,
has to do it.
the little
Jax.
weird banana rings that you have in there. No, we don't want to see those. Shaped like you got bananas in there. It's like, what is that? Anyway, so what I was going to tell you is that, all those, I can't even be serious at this point. All those little nuances. Take a great song like American Band. We've all heard American Band, right?
Mm-hmm.
You listen to the intro of it, man. It starts off, and next thing you know, it hits that instrumental with that cowbell, and the cowbells, and immediately. And by the way, the guy hasn't even opened his mouth up yet to deliver a note, and he's gonna damn well knock your socks off. But immediately, there's all these little components. Even that cowbell, down, ticka, 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 down, and you're going, okay, man, this is getting you going. Movies are the same way, man. You got like all these elements. Music's the same way, and a lot of it's just fly by the seat of your pants too. You know, you got a plan, you got an idea, but you get inspired on the spot immediately by little things. And I don't know in filmmaking, because I don't do filmmaking, but I know in music, man, I mean, you can go as far left as you want, and you're not relying on a lot of other people. So I'd imagine with you have to reel it in a little bit. But I see the similarities, and I think it's really incredible. It's art, right? You know,
right? It's all art. Yeah,
what's
I mean,
that,
these
what's
are just
that
different
quote
mediums.
that everything, all art reflects music?
Yeah, it's like the quote is like all art tends toward music. You know, if there's a musicality to film, there might be even a musicality to a great painting, right? The way your eye moves in a certain rhythm. And I love your point about that. And I think that's what attracts me to like character-driven stories, because there is so much complexity and so much layering you could do with like all different types of characters. You know, you've got the pop star, you've got the pop star's mom, who the pop star, you know, has a certain relationship to. And then you've got her character who kind of comes out of left field, but the pop star and her character develop a rapport with each other that you would never think, you know, these two characters would ever get along. And I think for me, like, those are the types of films that excite me, that I've watched in my history. You know, I think the first film I saw that I was like, wow, I think I want to be a filmmaker was Martin Scorsese's film The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio. And it was, I think, like the first like adult film I saw. I was like 10 years old. But DiCaprio's performance and, you know, the old style, the 1940s, it was a biopic on Howard Hughes. And, you know, some of the flying sequences and how Scorsese even cut it in a way to convey Howard Hughes's OCD syndrome that he had. So the editing was like very quick and precise, and you felt like you were in DiCaprio's mind, Howard Hughes's mind, and the music. And so to your point, Darren, of like the layering of all of those elements, whether it's cinematography, music, editing, performance, lighting, everything comes together. And I mean, that's what excites me about, you know, the scripts I take on. I hope I take on a challenge with every project and challenge myself to do
I'm
that.
now going to age myself. Okay.
Go for it.
You went way back.
I am, because I'm going to tell you the film that made me want to act, because I was so impressed by Tim Hutton's performance. And by the way, this movie won the Academy Award, and it was Robert Redford's first directing movie. Can anybody name it?
It wasn't All the President's Men, was it?
No, Robert Redford directed, and Tim Hutton was the youngest male to this day to ever win an Academy Award for his performance.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Darren, what is it?
Mr. Limpet. I'm just kidding.
No, nobody know. And here's the thing.
No.
Here's the thing that's interesting about this movie is that nobody remembers it, and it won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Robert Redford directed it, and Timothy Hutton's performance called
You got us on the edge of our seat. What is it?
Ordinary
People.
That's right. I've heard of that one. It's on my list. I gotta watch it.
It is
You have to watch it.
some of the best acting, screenplay, cinematography. It's so simple. And I'll tell you who else is really good in it is Judd Hirsch. And it is literally in my top 3 best movies of all time.
Wow.
Because the screenplay is going to knock you off your, it's outdated. I'll tell you, I think I saw it in I think it came out in 1980.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Long, as Frankie would say. It was a long. I was 14 years old. I was in 8th grade when I saw this movie. And I remember thinking the effect that it had on me, the power of cinematography and the power of writing and all the words. Like I couldn't believe people were saying this dialogue. And that movie made me want to get into the entertainment world for sure. So I totally get it. It's like there's always that one great film. And it's funny because my kids today, they go, "What are you talking about? This is like the worst movie." And I go, "Yeah, but if you think about me as a 14-year-old, this movie at that time was so brilliant." Mary Tyler Moore plays the mother.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Donald Sutherland, but Timothy Hutton won the Academy Award for this movie. And again, it won Best Picture. But those are the kind of movies, like if you really go back in history and you really look at certain movies that, like you said, because I remember The Aviator, and I know exactly what you're saying, and how it was filmed made you feel like you were kind of going on Leonardo's journey. Howard Hughes's journey through that movie.
Right. And I think too, and this is a huge debate right now about, will films stay in the movie theater? I think there's something special about that experience of consciously like making the intention to leave your home, get in your car, go sit in a dark room with, 40, 50 other people, and just be literally a captive audience to what is on the screen, right? You can't check your phone. You can't, go get a snack. You can't have drama with people in your household, right? Like whatever distracts us from binge watching TV nowadays. There is something about, exactly.
Darren's like, you just said my entire day.
This isn't therapy here.
Your family and.
You just said my entire day.
Well, I will tell you that is probably going to stay the case, but not in Los Angeles, because they're not allowing it unless you have a vaccination card. So people are burned out on that. So in Los Angeles, unfortunately, so many theaters have closed, and you've got a few that are staying. But I mean, you go to buy a ticket, it's like you got to have a vaccination card, and and
that's why I live in Boise, because I don't have to deal with all that here.
Exactly.
That's why we moved to Joshua Tree.
Yeah. Well, and that's really sad too, because especially like, it's Los Angeles, it's Hollywood, it's where films, have their heartbeat. Now it's a little more spread out, but
I have to tell you, I'm on a lot of different casting websites, and my agent, and it's gotten to the point now where I don't know that I'm going to work. I may have to move to Atlanta or Tennessee, because
Nashville.
I can't work in LA.
Yeah.
You cannot work on a set in LA unless you're vaccinated.
And you know what? These other places too, I mean, just from a production standpoint, have really great tax incentives. Like even Buffalo, like wherever, they're really promoting. They want creatives to come there. They're opening their doors, So
and and all there are a lot of states right now that are going, hey, come here.
We want to be the new Hollywood. So Hollywood may be like, nobody does films in Hollywood, and maybe movie companies are going to be moving to a different state.
Listen to me.
All right, listen to you, Darren.
Listen to me. And honestly, because I was in the entertainment business, not just music, but I was a hairdresser and makeup artist for many years in the early MTV video days and films and movies of the weeks. Yeah, the weeks. But anyway, so, but I did notice that, years later, I mean, this is nothing new, man. People have been running out of Hollywood for the last 30 years. They started in Austin, filming there in different places, because now this has just tipped it over the edge. People have been, they've been shooting locations in all kinds of states for at least the last 20 years. And I might be exaggerating by saying 30, but certainly the last 20. So the whole COVID thing might have just kind of been like a tipping point, but this has been going on for a while. People have been looking at budgets and taxes, and Hollywood, sadly, it's not what it was when we grew up there, Deb. There was big industry. Our families were in the entertainment business. Everybody's parents were involved in something.
Yeah.
Everybody's ideas of, openness was completely different than it is now. And so it's like, it's just crazy, man. It's almost unrecognizable, and it's sad because it's a city I grew up in and I loved. And I mean, I don't hate it, and I'd love to go back there, but you're right. So there's a lot of, where I live and I'm just south of Nashville. I'm in Williamson County. I'm like south of Nashville, and I am in the 5th wealthiest county in the United States where I live. And it's not I'm not joking. It's called Williamson County. It's not because I live here. I thought it was at first. I was trying to say I moved here and really created something. But no, Nissan moved out here in the 90s, late 90s. They moved their headquarters here. They've made these. And by the way, we don't have any state income tax out here. People go, well, you pay 9.7. It's like, it's a lot easier to get that 9.7 out of every sale and it's over with And guess what? There's all this surplus of money, and we have what's called the Tennessee Promise out here, which gives you free college. Imagine we need free college. Well, we have it, people. It's got to have a surplus of tax dollars that works that way.
My daughter's actually
shut
excited
up.
about that idea because, we're talking about moving this summer to Nashville, maybe sooner, you don't know. But yeah, that's one thing is that I told her about first 2 years of college are free. She's like, let's go.
Right. And it
Yeah.
is, man. Columbia State right here. It's beautiful. So,
we love Nashville.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. I spent 3 weeks last October looking at property. I looked in Brentwood, I looked in Franklin, I looked in Leapers Fork. I fell in love. And
Gorgeous.
I have several friends from LA that have moved because they just can't. One, they have guns, and two, they don't want to get vaccinated, and three, they don't want to be dealing with LA mandates.
Right.
So,
I think it's going to separate, whatever's going to happen with the mandates. And I don't want to get too political, but it's just, it separates across personalities, and, people who want more freedoms and are willing to take their risk with the disease, the pandemic, and those that want to stay in a place like LA and live with that, and I think people should make their own decisions.
And that's a choice
about
too.
this.
You're right, man. It's like, hey, I know people that are totally content with all that out there.
Right.
But
I think too, to your point, that film, and I think like film and creativity, there needs to be a certain amount of freedom that comes with it in terms of how it's done. And also, the risk too, artists are risk takers. They have to be to make anything good and anything that is, I guess fulfilling ultimately. There's a certain meaning that comes with taking the risk. Right. And I think that, we're always going to seek that. So yeah, that gave us the confidence to move out of LA, to come to Joshua Tree and take this time to, after the film shoot, to kind of like debrief and reassess, and, we'll go anywhere to make movies,
Well, and that's what's kind of exciting too. It's like you go to a less populated place, but you actually end up interacting with more people because you find the people with similar interests and you find your community. And first of all, I just like being able to drive and go park in a parking lot and walk into a store. Like I did not realize how much I missed that from like back east, having space. And when you're trying to film in LA, which was exciting, and I'm glad we did our first film there, but it'll be nice to have some space. Like if our next few scripts, and I know some of them are elsewhere, back east and things, it'll be nice to go back there and have a different setting and have just a different feel overall, and maybe people will be a little bit more helpful, because they'll be excited about it.
And your first permit's going to be 1,000 instead of 50,000.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But that's the difference. Is like people in Buffalo are so excited. Like they closed down an entire town and like rebuilt it for A Quiet Place 2. They shot it. It's so strange. I grew up driving over these bridges to get to Grand Island, which is the small town right outside of Buffalo where I'm from. And in A Quiet Place 2, you see them like, they're attacking those bridges. And that's exactly where I lived like my entire life.
That's incredible.
So, but they're excited about it there. So they'll be, oh, come, we'll make it work. Right.
Yeah,
we'll make it work. And so that's just kind of nice
point.
Instead of red tape.
Yeah.
You guys are small.
It's almost like in LA, like there is all this bureaucracy and red tape, and like we're still working with SAG to get a security deposit back like months after the shoot. And you almost feel like people, they do their job description, and then any inch past that, they're like, no, they push you away. Versus, these small towns like, places in New Mexico. I think Albuquerque has a huge tax credit, New Orleans, Chicago, and Buffalo. Like she mentioned, Buffalo itself has built sound stages. And I think if you shoot in a sound stage in Western New York, you can get up to 50% of your production budget back.
Oh, really?
So you're saving money. You're saving a massive amount of money.
There's so many great. I know Atlanta has incentives. New Orleans, Tennessee. So okay, so Giovanna, what's next for you? I mean, is this film like is this your first big film or?
Yeah, this is my first feature. So we've done 2 shorts and we've done some live. We've done theater. So we've done stage performances as well, but this is my first feature. I wrote a TV pilot, a comedy. And so I'm debating whether I want to shoot that myself or do the whole shop it around and see if a production company wants to partner, because TV is a little different. You know, you need an ongoing kind of machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also co-writing a feature film script with a friend of mine. So doing that, and then John just can't stop writing. So
a million ideas. You can see in his face he's got a million ideas.
Right?
Yeah,
I can see
like
it.
a little wheelhouse up there with ideas just going and going and going.
Ask his family. Apparently,
I can see him. They're all in here asking, ask him this, tell him that. He's the funniest guy.
Funny.
He's great. We see it, man. We see your offspring in there. I want to say one thing really quick before we move on.
Yeah.
LA is going to rebuild itself. It's going to get there again. It's just got to go through the craziest crap, but it's one of the greatest cities. It has been, and I don't foresee that place.
Just got to get rid of the governor.
Well, I mean,
did I say that?
Well, who said that? Jack? I think Jack said that.
Possibly, but I'm just saying one way or another. Possibly, but I'm just saying one way or another because I love LA. I love LA. But
there we go.
Music man.
That was my bad attempt at Randy Newman.
I don't love LA anymore.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Sounds like I'm out of here.
That I loved it. It was a great place, and it'll be lovable again, man. You know, it's LA. It's got to figure out how to adjust itself. It can't be this way forever. That's my fairy tale mind thinking.
We need the magic back, is what
it'll happen. LA is just not going to just fall off the face of the earth. It just can't. It's Hollywood. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, so I have faith that eventually, somewhere, that's for you, Deb. But anyway, so someday, man, it's going to just rise back up. It'll happen, man, because things are going to happen. It's Hollywood, man. There's too much magic that goes on there, and it's just an awkward time right now. I predict that. I predict it. And in the meantime,
said it here on this day.
I said it right here, Deborah.
Yeah,
but I'm just telling you can tell your husband I said that too.
Now you're going to make a YouTube video, predict it.
I met Mitch's mother. I met his mother at Michael Roos Salon.
That's right. Oh my God.
That's my claim to fame with the gymnast people.
Well, you know,
they're like, let me get the rings. You should see me doing the rings, man, at my size. It's great.
I really don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. We are having.
It might not, but
what are they calling it? Crash and bang? I mean, what is going on in this city?
It's all good. I'm just saying somewhere along the line. It might be 10 years, 20 years. But
it's 10 years at least. There's so much rebuilding.
I don't have 10 more years to waste.
When you have people robbing Beverly Hills, we have problems.
Yeah.
We have serious problems. This used to be the best police force in California. It was right here in Beverly Hills, and they don't even want to show up.
That's because I paid my tax dollars and I pay for you. You just know that.
Oh, I pay for me. Trust me.
I paid for you. Wouldn't you love to just go, well, why don't you try these beautiful shiny handcuffs on that you paid for? I want you to try these on because you paid for these. And then you can try that really nice Crown Victoria, beautiful new car that you helped pay for. And then we're going to take you to this beautiful, gorgeous building downtown.
So crazy.
And you help pay for that too. So you're going to get a triple whammy today. We're going to give you the carte blanche for everything you've paid for.
You know what though? I hope you're right, because everything does have its cycle, right? Like that is just life. It bounces. I hope you're right.
I love LA more than I hate it. Believe me, it's.
If not, let's reconvene.
But I'm here. But I'm here for a reason in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know Nashville. It could be the next Hollywood. Who knows?
You never know. John, Giovanna, thank you very much for taking the time and joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Neon Bleed coming out 2022,
either end of 2022 or beginning of 2023. Yeah.
And when you do your red carpet, let me know.
Oh,
I'm coming out.
Well, that's what I was going to mention, Roger. We'll have that sooner than later. It'll probably be like February, March at the latest in 2022. Okay. So before we do our festival circuit, we'll have like a friends and family premiere and
perfect.
Go all out.
That's when you can ask Dylan about the real Vegas story.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. I know it.
That's an in-person.
I was pulling out that Scarface thing just as a joke, but there's something real behind it. I'm telling you.
Oh, it's real.
Oh, absolutely.
So I told Bailey, I said, John and Giovanna are going to be on the show. Where can I watch it? Facebook. I don't have Facebook. Twitter. I don't have Twitter. I said, Bailey,
you know, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta have, you know, she just doesn't have.
How do
she
you
doesn't
send
have
Italian all of a sudden?
Then I
You're talking
sent
to
her
these
the
guys.
link. Then I sent her the link. She goes, I don't have Google Chrome. Do you need Google Chrome to do this?
She's more off the grid than any of us.
I mean, seriously.
I don't
Notice how
have Facebook
Driggsy started
or Twitter
talking
either.
more Italian there. See how she started talking more
Yeah,
Italian
she
at
did.
the end?
It's
Yeah.
contagious.
Yeah, it's coming through the airwaves here.
I mean, to cut you
Not
off, but it was
familiar
like,
to you.
yeah, I told my daughter, you know, I forget about
Hey.
it. Not the one. Who knew? Throw in 2 Triados.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know someone with
What's
better.
Chromecast?
Yes,
Oh.
I don't know someone with better taste in Italian wines though than Miss Driggsy. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Pinot
right.
Grigio, baby.
So-
Pinot
There we
Grigio
go.
right here. A Pinot Grigio fan. And do
All
you
right,
like
friends and family, I will be there.
Yes,
You
yes,
got it.
please,
You
and
got it.
thank you
guys
so
so much, yeah, for having
Thank
us on.
you,
It was a
guys.
pleasure.
Thank you,
so
John.
much.
Nice
Giovanna.
to meet y'all.
Thank you
Take
guys.
care.
We'll talk to y'all soon.
Can't wait to
Okay.
see your stuff.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
Oh, how great were they, man?
So great, you guys.
Road trip
Oh my
again.
God. Here we go.
Yeah, Incredible.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Incredible.
I got
They're in
Nashville in January. I'm going to have to go back to LA in February or March for this red carpet event. What? Well, so
I'm
much going
telling
on.
you.
Yes.
Well,
Such a tough job being what we do, you know?
well, next Sunday, we have a very special guest. We have a soap star, soap hunk, one of the best looking men on soap operas ever. And you do not want to miss.
Darren.
You do not want to miss next week's show. I'm not even going to tell you. You have to
Oh,
wait. till
John
the
O'Hurley's coming back?
No. I love John. No, we have a big soap star coming on.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of bold, isn't it?
Oh,
Kind of bold.
Kind of
Wow.
beautiful.
Kind of bold and the beautiful.
Ron Moss is coming back.
No, well, we want him to come back.
Ron
we
was
do.
great.
But he's
Wasn't
having
Ron
fun in
great?
Italy right now, so
Oh,
He is.
I don't blame him. If I could be in Italy right now, I'd be in Italy right now.
And you know what,
drinking
Ron?
Sassicaia.
And Ron, I love him, man. He's got such the right demeanor for Italy, too. He kind of sits there sucking on those lozenges like, yeah, I'm going to Italy. And, well, we're going to have.
So cool.
Yeah,
And
he's
his
like,
wife-
he's like, he's
and
the
his
shit,
wife-
man.
Well, and his wife's amazing.
Yeah.
Devin DeVasquez. And
we'll have to bring
So,
her on
yeah.
the show sometime here soon.
absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
I want to say something though. We're going to get our audience back because apparently they're in the next few weeks, they're going to be wrapping up Yellowstone, which is our competition right now, because I've been binging on that and I'm caught up and I'm addicted to it. So on Sunday
Where
nights,
do you watch Yellowstone? I haven't started that one.
Okay. So you got to watch seasons 1 through 3 on Peacock and then
On Peacock.
on Peacock. And then season 4 is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Or you could just order, but yeah, it's free episodes. If you subscribe $5 a month for Peacock, you can watch seasons 1 through 3. It's addicting.
Well, let's get some of those actors on our show.
I've already tried to reach out. The show's too powerful right now. They're not responding to me yet. They're too busy up in Montana.
Yeah. Wait till
No,
it gets
our show's too
canceled.
powerful. Hey, Driggsy, let me see your fingernails. Do they match your shirt? What's that go? Oh, look at that. Yeah, I see something.
They
there.
do match my shirt.
Yeah,
They do.
It's kind of a midnight blue color.
I see that. Yeah, that works. In the
I like it.
background, that looked gothic. I thought, man, is she going goth? She went
I
over-
am.
Right?
I
Look
just
at
need
her
some
face.
black lipstick. And
Yeah, I'd love
there
to
we
see that.
go.
That's right,
Goth.
Don Swartz. Yeah, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill are actually going to be doing the spinoff of Yellowstone. It's called 1883. It goes back to it's pre-Yellowstone, where the Dutton family started. Where the original Dutton family before the first generation of Duttons. So yeah, Gene, call Kevin Costner. I'm going to call him right now. Actually, hang on one second.
I just want to just school you on one thing. You kind
Yes.
of got to make the T a little more silent. Cosner. There's a T in there, but it's like if you're going to say the name, it's like Kevin Costner. It's almost like you have to not pronounce and enunciate that T.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Okay.
It's almost like you have to not pronounce it. Drake G's, you going
What's
backwards?
going on in this city?
Somebody, I hit the wrong button and I'm listening to our show on Facebook. I'm watching Roger the Wild Child.
That's trippy right there.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Anyway, you can say Kevin Costner if you want.
Kevin Costner. Yeah.
Hey,
Kevin
Kev, it's Roger.
Hey, Kev, it's Roger. Hey, what's up, buddy? Want to come on the show? Awesome.
That's it.
That's all it takes.
Kev Costner. Kind of enunciate that T.
Costner.
Cost nerd. That is Kevin Costner.
No, but Yellowstone, great series. If you guys haven't watched it, trust me, it's worth catching up to season 4. Just go ahead and start binging on it. I started binging on it after Thanksgiving. I was addicted to it.
Everything
not your family-friendly show. I will say that.
Oh.
What do you mean?
It's for mature audiences only.
Well, that's not good.
I like the ones for immature audiences.
Well, it's not one of those shows that you can sit down with the kids and watch it. I would definitely not. So,
is it like Trailer Park Boys or something?
No, it's just really it's really more. It's more of a mature show, and
so there's like sexual kind of activities. And
yeah, pretty much. Yep, and
so
the language,
sexual intercourse,
violence, and stuff like that. But you know what? It's
violence and sex.
It's well written. It's a great story. It's just amazing, and you guys have to watch it. If you guys are
violence and
sex,
wow!
Who are the 3 main stars? I know Kevin. Who are the other 2 stars?
Kevin Costner, Cole.
Cole. We know Cole. Everybody.
Cole
knows
Haas
Cole.
or what? Hang on a second.
Cole Haasner.
Now. Yellowstone cast. I'm gonna want to start pronouncing the right
Don
names
Schwartz
here.
is saying Kasner instead of Kasner is all Midwest sounding. Kevin Kasner.
Oh, Kevin.
Okay. That sounded too nice and pretty.
Kevin Costner. He has had quite the career.
Costner.
Kelly Riley plays Beth Dutton. She's from the UK, but she's amazing. Let's see here.
Who plays the maid?
The maid. Okay, so Wes Bentley, Kelly Riley, Luke Grimes, Cole Hauser. He plays Rip. So.
Well, I'm going to have to take I'll watch season 1 and report back.
No, seriously. No, you're going to watch season 1 and be like, okay, I'm on season 2 now, Roger.
Roger rating that stuff of that one eye on.
I know.
All right, guys. I will see you next week. We have a great
Yes. Whoa, olives. Whoa. Popeye.
I know. You gotta love my vision, right?
Whoa, olives. Bye-bye.
I got to go. It's the night before my birthday.
Woohoo! Happy birthday, Driggsy. All right, she's 21 again.
I got the moves.
You do have the moves.
I've got the moves, and I know how to clap now.
Woohoo!
Is that one or
Giovanna Andolina, thank you for joining us. Also, John Capone, Frankie McDonald,
Frankie
with the weather as always. For Deborah Driggsy, and the big D.
Driggsy, don't say that. Only people spying on me in the bathroom call me Big D. Anyway.
Oh, I'm Roger the Wild Child. We'll see you next Sunday. Bye.
Look at she's blowing me a kiss after saying something like that. My God.
No, I'm blowing the audience a kiss.
You're blowing smoke rings, honey. Yeah.
All right, we're out of here. See ya.